Welcome to NDNU's podcast, where we bring higher education to life through conversations that matter. Tune in as we unpack current trends, explore big ideas, and spotlight voices from across the Notre Dame your university community. So today we are jumping right into a subject that has, well, fundamentally reshaped how organizations connect with their audiences. I'm talking about the rising dominance of video and multimedia content, especially as more of our work moves into these hybrid and remote spaces.
Exactly. And this discussion is centered around a really compelling analysis by Kurt Allen, who is the Vice President of Enrollment, Marketing, and Communications at Notre Dame University. The article is titled, Video and Multimedia, the New Currency of Engagement in a Hybrid World.
Right, and Kurt makes an assertion in it that is, I think, both bold and increasingly difficult to ignore. He says that video is no longer a luxury or an option, but has become a strategic imperative, the new currency, as he puts it. And my position is that this designation as a strategic imperative is entirely warranted. The medium itself is now foundational.
I see why you think that, but let me offer a different perspective. While video is certainly one of the most powerful tools we have, I would argue that classifying it as the strategic imperative, well, it risks oversimplifying where the true value lies. I think its efficacy is still fundamentally dependent on a very tactical execution. It's a necessity, yes, but a tactical one.
I would argue that shift is already complete. I mean, video's dominance isn't really driven by what organizations prefer anymore. It's driven by the very architecture of the digital world. The major platforms, social media, search, they all prioritize watch time, they prioritize shares. This forces organizations to adopt video as a core strategic capability just to be seen. And the case for it is backed by real success. Kurt points out that 82% of marketers report that video increases traffic to their website. That's a massive increase. It shows video is now the unavoidable entry point, especially in a high-trust sector like education. It's the connective tissue for these hybrid environments.
I'm not entirely convinced that platform dependency qualifies video as a strategic imperative. I mean, look, if platforms shifted tomorrow to prioritize, say, high-quality interactive text, then the imperative would be adapting to that format. The success of video, particularly short-form video, is tactical because it's subject to the frankly arbitrary whims of external algorithms. If the platform dictates the format, then the format is a tactic, not the strategy itself. And I think the true strategic foundation, which Kurt subtly reinforces, is the human element. The article highlights the huge success of personalized video, a one-to-one message. So that suggests the strategic value lies in the personalization and the trust building, which video just happens to deliver efficiently right now.
But let's talk about the concept of the essential proxy experience. In a high-stakes decision, like a student choosing a university, they need to build trust. That's traditionally done through campus visits, face-to-face meetings. So when that physical presence is impossible, what do? Video is really the only medium that can act as that proxy, simulating a tour, introducing faculty, conveying the real emotion of student testimonials. This ability to bridge the physical gap, that's what elevates video from a tactic to a core strategic capability. No other medium can do that reliably today.
The authenticity of the content, the substantive value. If you film a high-quality virtual tour, but the campus culture that comes across is weak, the video fails. If you send a personalized video, but it has generic, unhelpful information, it also fails. The strategy is deciding what experience to convey. The video format is currently the most effective way to transmit that strategy. I agree, but it remains subordinate to the core strategic decisions about human connection.
Okay, let's transition into how this plays out operationally then, specifically with the efficiency you need to cut through all the, quote, digital noise. I maintain that short-form video is the strategic efficiency engine for the whole thing. We're talking about those 15 to 45-second clips that are necessary just to get basic attention at the very top of the funnel.
That focus on initial attention makes sense tactically, of course. But how does that translate into a long-term strategic conversion?
Well, it dictates the entire journey. The strategy is to layer that short, efficient content with longer formats. Kurt explicitly discusses this tiered content stack. You start short to hook the audience, then move them to medium-length content, and finally guide them to those 5 to 20-minute deep dives like a webinar that are required for a big decision. The strategic imperative here is the system design itself, building a communication system that minimizes friction at every single stage. Without that short-form video engine at the start, this substantive, long-form content, which we both agree is key, it never gets discovered.
That's an interesting point, though I would frame it differently. While that system is mandatory, if the long-form content, the deep dives, is strictly required for that strategic conversion, it suggests that the substantive information itself holds the ultimate power. Short-form video is a required tactical hook for reach, yes, but the strategic decision is still about the quality of content you offer. To call the whole stack a strategic imperative because of a 15-second hook, that feels like an overreach. The strategy is the substance. The hook is the tactic.
But the substance is strategically valueless if no one ever sees it. The investment has to center on the format that maximizes access, and right now, that's video. Let's look at the metrics that justify this, the ones focused on conversion ROI.
And this is where I feel the evidence most clearly supports my position of tactical dependency.
The metrics are definitive. When organizations use personalized videos, replicating that human-to-human interaction, they see massive gains. Personalized videos increase open rates by nearly 3 times. They improve reply and click-through rates by 200%. This isn't just about general traffic. This high conversion rate proves video is indispensable for driving direct, measurable action, especially when you're trying to replicate that crucial on-site experience remotely. You just can't get those numbers with text alone.
I'm not convinced by that line of reasoning because it confuses correlation with causation. And this, I think, is the central flaw in framing video as the singular strategic imperative. Yes, the personalized video gets a 200% conversion rate increase, but the reason for that increase is the personalization itself. It's the dedicated human effort, the customized touchpoint from the admissions counselor.
But that personalized effort must be delivered via video to get that level of emotional resonance and trust.
Does it? I mean, if a person gets a highly customized, handwritten letter or a dedicated, personalized phone call, that is the strategic investment. Video just offers the current highest efficiency delivery mechanism for that investment. The strategic value is tied to the human capital, the customized communication. If we invest heavily in video software but fail to prioritize authentic personalization, those conversion numbers, they just vanish. So the strategic investment is in the human touch, and video is the current high-performing tactic for deployment.
But scaling that human touch is strategically critical, and this is where video integration becomes imperative. Operational strategy now requires leaders to adopt the principle of build once, repurpose everywhere. You record a comprehensive panel once, and that single strategic asset is then transformed into dozens of tactical pieces, short clips for social, GIFs for email, snippets for newsletters.
That speaks to remarkable efficiency in production, which I will acknowledge is strategically important for resource management.
Exactly. This scalable approach, maximizing the utility of one piece of content, makes video strategically manageable and cost-effective. It minimizes friction not just for the viewer, but for the organization trying to maintain consistent, high-quality output. This infrastructure is inherently a strategic capability.
That's a compelling argument on operational efficiency. However, efficiency has to be future-proofed. And this brings us back to the rapid evolution of technology mentioned in Kurt's analysis. He notes AI is simplifying editing, and we're seeing the rise of interactive video, 360-degree content, and even immersive formats like VR and AR.
But those are enhancements to video, not replacements for it.
But the rate of change is the strategic point. If AI and new tech are constantly changing how video is created and consumed, shouldn't the true strategic imperative be organizational adaptability? The ability to utilize the next low-friction medium. Locking into video as a definitive currency carries risk. The strategic move is toward technological flexibility and personalization technology,
which just happens to use video as its current delivery medium.
I think that's an attempt to redefine the terms a bit too broadly. Video, in its fundamental nature, motion, sound, visual empathy, is designed to deliver that proxy experience, which will always be necessary in a hybrid world. The evolutions you mention, like AI editing, are all investments in video to maintain its strategic advantage. They solidify its position, they don't threaten it.
They ensure it remains efficient, I agree, but they do not guarantee its long-term strategic dominance over the actual substance being conveyed.
My position is that video has fundamentally shifted the baseline for audience expectation, especially in high-trust sectors. Because it replicates the physical experience and drives measurable action at every funnel stage, organizations, well, they must treat it as a core, unifying strategic capability just to stay relevant. It defines modern communication strategy.
And my position remains that its effectiveness is critically dependent on its tactical execution, from platform selection to prioritizing personalized content. While it's essential as a delivery vehicle today, the strategic imperative remains the quality and human connection of the underlying content. Video is simply the most efficient and dominant way to deliver that strategy right now, but its success is vulnerable to tactical shifts.
Well, we certainly agree that ignoring video is no longer an option, particularly given the insights Kurt Allen provides from the education sector. It is absolutely mandatory for modern engagement.
Absolutely. The conversation is ultimately about the degree, whether video is the strategic anchor or if it's the most essential tactical investment supporting a broader strategy. The evidence, to me, suggests the latter.
Thanks for joining us on the Notre Dame de Namur University podcast, where higher education meets real-world insight. If you're ready to take the next step in your career, explore NDNU's Master of Business Administration program, designed for working professionals who want to lead with purpose and impact. Learn more at ndnu.edu or give us a call at 650-508-3600. Classes are enrolling now. See you next time.